Greetings and welcome back to the channel. Today we have Science is the New Religion session 99 with Michael in Germany. And as we're looking at this photo that Michael has on the beginning of the script here, we see I believe it is an, depiction of some type of atomic structure. And that's in Belgium, isn't it, Michael?
Yes, it's in Brussels, the capital city of Belgium, and also the
Thank
city
you.
where the European Union is residing.
Ah, yes, one of our friends lives not so far from there.
Yeah.
So he must have seen it in person, I would say.
I think so, yeah. That must be very impressive when you're standing beneath that structure.
I would think so, too. And yeah, certainly to go around and play around in there when you're a child, I would imagine you'd be like, oh, Mommy, take me in there now. At least I would be if I was in Belgium. But anyway, Michael, yeah, we're 99 sessions in, and the Science is the New Religion script. So yeah, that's great. You know, how many hours has it been? You know, we don't limit the time on these recordings. Michael has carte blanche to go as deep, as far as wide as he needs to. So yeah, I can imagine we've done well over 100 hours, maybe even closer to 200 on these sessions so far. So yeah, it's amazing, you know, all of the topics that we've covered so far. So I can only imagine you know, we get further into the root causes of why things are the way they are in the world today. And if you are not a born-again believer, then I feel pity for you enduring through these sessions, because I think we have all born-again believers that listen to these sessions, Michael. I don't think there might be too many. But you never know. There's people that come in just out of curiosity and are not familiar with what entails being of the Spirit and not of the flesh. And that's what Michael and I are here for, is to help guide you into that knowledge that you might be converted from a worshiper of the images and idols of this world into a worshiper of the true God that created all men and women on the face of the earth. And, you know, as we read in John 3:16, Jesus, the Messiah, the one prophesied to come, loved the world. God actually loved the world, and through Jesus has made intercession for us through our wicked, sinful flesh lives, Michael. So it's a message of the gospel. That's the message of this channel. And I believe Michael's work is to amplify that message through the messages that have been corrupted in so-called science, right, as the Bible says. So welcome, Michael.
Yeah, welcome, Brett. Hello, dear listeners. 99 sessions so far. So many items which are faked in this world, which which is not been talked about in this world, actually, because the world is only plenty of entertainment to keep you busy.
Yeah, they say, you know, don't ever mix science and religion in your conversations with people, because then, you know, that's surely going to be the end of the relationship or the friendship, and so be it. We on this channel have determined that this is the problem that we face as a born-again believer, is that the power of actually using Christ is very much in the realm of what we see in the world today, right, Michael?
Yeah, nothing has changed the entire years. Nothing has changed. It's getting worse and worse and worse because the lies have been multiplied from generation to generation, been passed on from the parents to the children, from the elders to the youngsters. Everybody is following the agenda. Nobody asks any question because they're all been blinded by the God of this world, or actually by the mammon, because everybody's running after the money. So that's a sad truth, actually. There are so few people who are really interested in the truth, because in this world the truth will get you into trouble, because people don't want to hear the truth, because they don't want to serve a higher being, a divine being, an almighty God. They just want to be gods. They just want to be venerated. They just want to be worshipped. They just want to be seen as some mighty man of renown, like the giants. And so this is session 99. So I have to have a little bit of trick here, because at the moment I'm carrying my beloved animal on my belly. So this is session 99 then, which is, of course, Genesis 6:4, there were giants in the earth, part 4.
Yes, there were giants in the earth those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came into or unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown.
Yeah, that's the key verse, Genesis 6:4. That's the key verse. It bears so much interesting information. So let's have another look. Next round, round number 4. This is Eumenes II Soter. He was a ruler of Pergamon, the altar of Zeus, or the seat of Satan, and a son of Attalus and Queen Apollonis, and a member of the Attalid dynasty of Pergamon. He followed in his father's footsteps upon becoming king and collaborated with the Romans. Aha! I found that very interesting in understanding that this king from Pergamon, actually, from the west coast of Turkey nowadays, has been in collaboration with the Romans. It is the 3rd century before Christ. Yeah, so he was in love with the Romans, or in collaboration with the Romans. He had refused to marry a daughter of Antiochus III upon noticing that he was about to engage in a war against the Romans. Yeah, so much about love, Brett. Yeah, so we are talking about politics here. Yeah, so he had to refuse to marry a daughter where the king was about to engage in a war against the Romans. So it has nothing to do with love, but politics, it seems. He subsequently then had married Stratonice of Pergamon, so a daughter of Pergamon, that city, the daughter of a king of Cappadocia, and his wife Antiochus, etc., etc. So then he had expanded his kingdom. And he was a shrewd ruler and politician who raised the state to a powerful monarchy. During his reign, Pergamon became a flourishing city where men of learning were always welcome, among them Crates of Malus, the founder of the Pergamene school of criticism. Eumenes, so that king, adorned the city with splendid buildings, amongst them the great altar with the frieze representing the battle of the giants. Coming in from a quote of the Encyclopaedia Britannica, volume 9, 11th edition, Cambridge University Press, page HH9, which we will see on the next page. His great achievement was the expansion of the library at Pergamon. So that guy was responsible for not only the library, but of the erection of the building of the great altar, the seat of Satan. And then you actually know what kind of spirit that guy, that monarch was in, Brad.
Wow, that is fascinating information, because that makes perfect sense. The 2nd century before Christ. So we have the rebuke of that church coming into the book of Revelation, when John the Revelator, I believe, was around the year 90, wasn't it? Or somewhere in that vicinity when he wrote that.
After Christ,
so,
yes.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of ancient history that That makes a lot more sense, Michael.
And that is only the official Wikipedia narrative, you see. But there's,
Right.
of course, much more behind it, or to it. Yeah, so he was the one responsible of building that altar with the frieze, representing the battle of the giants. The battle of the giants against the Olympic gods. So let's say. This is the article of the British Encyclopedia. What does that tell? What does that tell us? Eumenes, the name of two rulers of Pergamon. Eumenes the first and Eumenes the second. That is the second that Eumenes the second, the son of Attalus, was king of Pergamon from 197 to 159 BC. So the erection of that very temple, Brett, must have been there somewhere between the two dates. During the greater part of his reign, he was a loyal ally of the Romans who bestowed upon him signal marks of favor. He materially contributed to the defeat of Antiochus of Syria in the Battle of Magnesia, and as a reward for his services, the Thasian Chersonese and all Antiochus' possessions as far as the Taurus were bestowed upon him, including a protectorate of such Greek cities as had not been declared free. In his quarrel with his neighbors, the Romans intervened on his behalf, and on the occasion of his visit to Rome to complain of the conduct of Perseus, king of Macedonia, he was received with the greatest distinction. On his return journey, his narrowly escaped assassination by the emissaries of Perseus. Although he supported the Romans in the war against Macedonia, he displayed so little energy and interest that he was suspected of intriguing with the enemy. According to Olivos, there was some foundation for the suspicion, but Eumenes declared that he had merely been negotiating for an exchange of prisoners. Nothing, however, came of these negotiations, whatever may have been their real object, and Eumenes, in order to avert suspicion, sent his congregations to Rome by his brother Attalus after the defeat of Perseus in 168 before Christ. Attalus was received courteously but coldly, and Eumenes in alarm set out to visit Rome in person, but on his arrival at Brundusium was ordered to leave Italy at once. Eumenes never regained the good graces of the Romans, who showed especial favor to Attalus on his second visit to Rome, probably with the object of setting him against Eumenes, but the ties of kinship proved too strong. The last years of his reign were disturbed by renewed hostilities against Prusias of Bithynia and the Celts of Galatia, and probably only his death prevented a war with Rome. Eumenes, although physically weak, was a shrewd and vigorous ruler and politician who raised his little state from insignificance to a powerful monarchy. During his reign, Pergamon became a flourishing city where men of learning were always welcome, among them Crates of Malus, the founder of the Pergamene school of criticism. Eumenes adorned the city with splendid buildings, among them the great altar with the frieze representing the battle of the giants, but the greatest monument of his liberality was the foundation of the library, which was second only to that of Alexandria, which, of course, what we officially had to believe, Brett, had been burnt down. And we know that in the earlier sessions of that series, we found no evidence of that burning of the library in Alexandria. So we can assume that maybe they had gotten rid of many books, so that these books were then being handed over, for example, to the Romans, so that they are being in the possession of very prominent, famous books and history books of the ancient times of the Hellenistic age. That's my assumption here. Yeah, so much so. So from a video of Pergamon where Satan dwells, we see that structure of the former seat of Satan or the altar of Zeus. They're talking about, so a substructure, you're talking about something that they built underneath. So a substructure which has not been moved to Berlin yet, but a substructure, and you can think about what kind of purpose that would have served when on the top they had burnt offerings, So, this interesting documentary says where Satan dwells. The commerce as Ephesus, you know that this letter to the Ephesians, emerged as a much more important commercial temple in the city sorry, I have to do it one by one. So they're talking about that the city of Ephesus was a much more important commercial city. And in Ephesus, wasn't it the great Diana of Ephesus, if I remember correctly, in the book of Acts, Brett?
I'm not sure, Michael.
I'm quite sure.
Yeah, that very well could be.
Great is Diana of Ephesus. Okay, then let's look for Diana. I can hardly move because I don't want to awake Norris. Yeah. That's it, Brett, here. X 9028. So great is Diana of the Ephesians. So the Ephesians, they were great in as a commerce city, and they worshipped Diana. So every major city, they had these pagan temples, Brett. It's not different from today, but today we think that these temples resemble a Church of Christ, but they aren't. These are just Roman churches. Huh? So the temple in the city of, for example, in the city of Pergamon, was a temple of Athena. Yeah, you see, this is quite a comparison sheet here, and that you really see the distance between Pergamon on the west coast of Turkey and Smyrna and Ephesus. Yeah, so when, for example, the Apostle Paul was writing to the Ephesians, he was writing to the inhabitants of Ephesus, Brett. And when the Apostle John was on the island of Patmos, which is in Greece, somewhere west here, he was talking about the seat of Satan was in Pergamon. This is also here quite in the area of Turkey where Ephesus is. So Patmos, Patmos is that island there. Okay. So where Satan dwells, the former Caesars, they have gotten inscriptions in stone, which tells that they also bear the title of God, Brett. Yeah, so that Julius Caesar was actually in the Roman hemisphere, the first one who allegedly was both emperor and god in one person. But sneeze.
That makes me think of the Trinity right there, because here you have, this teaching that we've all been corrupted by, saying that, that Jesus and God and the Holy Spirit are three different persons in one. Well, first of all, as far as I remember, God is not a person. You're going to reduce God to a person, you got big trouble.
You see, I always get much questions about what my thoughts about the Trinity are. Actually, there are none, because I like to avoid the word Trinity. Because by Trinity, you think of three separate.
Yes, but it's a teaching that we need to talk about, and we need to discuss it with everyone, because this is the problem. We assume these things and they become dogmatic. And I can't stand dogma. You know that, Michael, as well as probably all the listeners on my channel. And it's very important that we state clearly what the Bible says about that, and let's get that into focus, and let's understand that Jesus and the Father are very crucial, and of course the Holy Spirit is simply just the presence, I believe, of God through Jesus. So that's as far as I understand it, but that's as far as I want to go with it. But basically, to say that a man can become God is total blasphemy. I mean, as far as being a Caesar, and saying that you hold the place of Christ on earth, like the popes do. I mean, this is not the Caesar, but the Pope. But
yeah, but the popes are the successors of the Caesars, and the Caesars
that's the most critical part. Yes.
And the Caesars are more or less, they are just the followers of the former empires. So it all goes back to Babylon, of course. It all goes back to the thing that Nimrod wants to exalt himself, and building a tower with which they could achieve the clouds or
right. So
reign
they're
supreme.
Basically successors of Nimrod.
Yeah. And so you found on these ancient stones, you found engravements which clearly depicts that the emperor sees himself as God, or as a son of a god, which is very close to the title of, or one of the title of Jesus Christ, actually. Yeah, and so that is it's a delicate thing because these how to say that these ancient rulers or emperors, actually, they would be then in one line with these gods that they actually worship, these images and idols. These Bacchios, Dionysus, Athena, Artemis, Zeus. Yeah, so that he wants to be treated like these images and idols. So that means that these emperors, they wanted to be worshipped, so that everybody bows their knee not down before Jesus Christ, which would come later, but to these. And this is that what that report here tells is that these stones just claim that the emperor is also just a god or the son of a god, a title which belongs to Jesus Christ. That's what that interesting documentary tells us. Okay. They say, one of the most important things that distinguishes our private Ephesus tour is that the travelers also get a chance to see the remains of this aqueduct, so that these water pipes, water lines, with the help of our Ephesus tour guides. And there you see that next picture here. That is a Trajan fountain at Ephesus. So you know that the city of Ephesus with the Ephesians. Oh, Norris is away. Hi. Bin ich zu laut? Am I too loud? The first time that I was holding Norris in my hands, I needed 99 sessions.
Yeah.
You're the best. You're the best. You're my best boy. You're the best. You're the best. You're the best, and you know that. World famous ferret. WFF. World famous ferret, ne? Signature. Make a signature move. If you go to the toilet, then please use the toilet. Don't even think about it. Red mal Deutsch mit mir. Please tell me everything in German. Okay. So the remains of this aqueduct, with the help of the Ephesus tour guides, this is a statue of Trajan, which is located in the central roof, or was located in the central roof, because it is missing. But who is Trajan? And I was remembered that I think in the last session, I have to look for it actually. Yeah, there it is. That picture I need.
Ah, that one.
That one, yes.
That's the one. That's a very important picture, isn't it?
Yeah, that's also the comparison here. The statue of Trajan was located right in the central roof, so that has been missing here, of course. So there used to be a statue of Trajan was located in the central roof, so that statue is clearly missing. But that statue resembles Caesar. So Trajan actually was a Roman emperor, a Caesar. Yeah. Let's look it up, what this Trajan actually is depicting. It's a former Roman emperor, 53 to 170, a Roman emperor from 1908 to 117, so maybe short after the Apostle John has written the book of the Revelation, huh? So he was the Optimus Principes, the best ruler by the Senate. He was a Roman emperor, therefore, of course, he was a Caesar. All these emperors were Caesars then, since Julius Caesar. They were seen as godlike, according to my knowledge. So, and this depiction here in Ephesus, actually, yeah, in Ephesus, the aqueduct, a fountain Trajan at Ephesus. That was really interesting because it resembles some strange remark. Sorry for my computer here. This Trajan fountain is one of 3 outstanding fountains in Ephesus. It was built in honor of Emperor Trajan, Caesar, by one of the city's most distinguished citizens. Such monumental fountains were of great importance in the ancient world. Aha. Yeah, so that is that fountain there in Ephesus, in Turkey nowadays. Yeah, a larger-than-life marble statue of Trajan once stood in the center of the fountain. If you look closely, you will notice a globe. This is here, and a fragment of a foot where the statue once stood. The globe at the feet of the emperor symbolized his rule over the earth. So this is a symbol of a Roman emperor.
Can you zoom in a little on that?
Yeah,
Martin?
yeah. I do not know if it has been enlarged in my script. Maybe that's better.
Good, yeah.
That's better, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. So that is it looks like a marble or the rest of the foot. I do not know, but the explanation is that it is.
That reminds me of a certain statue that was made of some goddess figure over a globe in the what church was that now? The cave of Ignatius of Loyola. Forget that one now. I can look it up. I think it's in a book I have. No,
yeah, so that is not in Pergamon, but in Ephesus. But my interest was getting on high alert here when I said that, okay, that is very interesting, that the depiction of the globe means a symbol of rulership of the Romans. Yeah, and when I really see here that that Pergamon was being created before Trajan, the Caesar, even was been born. So then it just been so that this temple of Trajan was later been named, according to my logic, Brett, the temple of Trajan, but that resembles then another Caesar or another emperor here. Yeah. Because you see, the Pergamon was being created, the temple here in around 200 before Christ, but Trajan was a Roman emperor 100 after Christ. So there's a difference of merely 300 years. So something's wrong in that depiction here. So that can't be the temple of Trajan then. Or in later terms, it was the temple of Trajan maybe, but in former times he must have another name, huh? But you see, according to the website, a larger-than-life marble statue, so marble, also very precious element, statue of Trajan once stood in the center of the fountain. If you look closely, you will notice a globe and a fragment of a foot where the statue once stood. The globe at the feet of the emperor, so Roman, symbolized rule over the earth. And that is exactly what also in that forgery of the Constantine donation bread, they say they have the rulership, domination above the world.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
Yep, that's right.
When I compare that then to the Jesuitical Bible, the Douay-Rheims Bible, what was it, 1607?
Mm-hmm.
A few years before the King James Bible, actually. Yeah.
Right.
They have here in Isaiah 41 not the circle of the earth, but the globe on the earth, which is very interesting when you really know that it is a symbol of Roman emperors. This is a Roman attitude. Yeah, that could be connected to the Roman emperor of Trajan. Yeah, because clearly that has been wrongly translated here. Yeah, the Bible, the King James Bible speaks actually of a circle. Yeah, and that is very interesting, I think, when you compare that with the Jesuitical Bible here, the Douay Rheims Bible. Douay Rheims means these are two cities of France. Douay Rheims Bible. Yeah, we can look it up in Douay Rheims Bible, Wikipedia English, 1582 already. Oh, that was only the New Testament. 1582. Okay, you see here, the Old Testament portion was published in 2 volumes 27 years later in 1609 and 1610. What a coincidence, Brad. Wouldn't you say? That is very close to the King James Bible, huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was in the other room looking for my copy of Rulers of Evil.
Yeah. Okay.
Couldn't find it. Yeah, the Douay Rheims. Yeah, of course they're gonna get their counterfeit version out before the King James.
Yeah, but look how closely it is, actually.
Yeah, I know.
I can't.
Super close.
Another of the 5,000 millions of coincidences here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. My. Yeah, so very interesting. So
Well, the lie has always got to come out before the truth, Michael. Every time.
Yeah, there's a quote of Mark Twain, who was a
much
Freemason.
More popular. Sorry.
Yeah, there was a quote of Mark Twain formerly, who was a Freemason, who says the lie has been traveling around the world or the globe, I don't know, 3 times unless the truth puts on his shoes. Yeah, so sort of that, and that's correct, because we're living in a world of lies. Yeah, we're living in a world of lies. Yeah, so this is here. You asked for it and you got it. You got that depiction here. Yeah. So that is in a pagan temple. You see, that globe is in a pagan temple. It is, of course, a pagan temple. There's nothing to it. Yeah, and that is a Roman emperor. Yeah, and in the Constantinian donation of Constantine, it is in English, donation of Constantine, which is a forgery, which everybody knows who's actually looking for it. Here we know is a forged Roman imperial decree by the 4th century Emperor Constantine the Great. Transferred authority over Rome and the western part of the Roman Empire to the Pope. Yeah, and that not only that, it means about the entire earth, because the Roman Empire in the 4th century was ruling, so to speak, the important part of the world. Yeah, with Pope Sylvester, and that's whom we are venerating here on the last day of the so-called Gregorian year, Gregorian calendar. The 31st of December is called in Germany Sylvester. Yeah, I'm not kidding. You can look it up. I'm not kidding. Yeah, you see, they claim that they have the supremacy of about everything. The Roman Caesars. Yeah. So interesting symbol here in Ephesus. No, not in Pergamon, but in Ephesus. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, that's coming from that Helios sorcery video with the globe mentioned in the Jesuitical Bible. Mm-hmm. The most famous structure from the city is the monumental altar, which is probably dedicated to Zeus and Athena. But we know that it has been dedicated to Satan when we believe the Bible. The Bible in the book of Revelation does not speak about the altar of Zeus, but it does speak of the seat of Satan in Pergamon. Wasn't that in the 2nd chapter? Yeah, you see Ephesus also been mentioned in the book of Revelation there.
Well,
yeah.
It's really easy, Michael. Satan is the father of lies, right?
Yeah, yes.
So why would he ever tell you the truth about his name?
Yeah, it's like that fairy tale in German. The first role that Christopher Lee ever had. What was it?
Oh yeah, Lord
Rumpelstiltskin. Yes.
Oh, Rumpelstiltskin.
Isn't that in English? Rumpelstiltskin. Ah.
Yeah, right. Rumpelstiltskin. Yeah. Or whatever it is.
Whatever it is in English, yes. Rumpelstiltskin in German, and I think it is Rumpelstiltskin or so in English. Yeah, because he will lose all his power if you know his real name. The story is about a little imp who spins straw into gold in exchange for his girl's firstborn child. Oh, that is a trade, huh? That is a pagan sacrifice then for the mammon, yeah, for gold, or alchemy also. Oh yeah, oh yeah, long time ago. So back to the script. We know that in the book of Revelation they do not depict the altar of Zeus, but instead they speak about the synagogue of Satan. Oh, that is Smyrna. Where is here, Pergamos, where Satan's seat is. Yeah, so Satan's seat is in Pergamos, and where other can it be than in a pagan temple? Yeah, in Luke 4:4, what does Satan require? Satan requires that you worship him. Yeah, and so where shall worship occur other than in a temple? Yeah, so let's look it up. I'm not making anything up. That is one of my favorite verses because it clearly shows who is that so-called ruler of this world, or the Caesar of the world or so. Yeah, the devil says, if thou therefore wilt worship me, all shall be thine. So that is about worship. It is about worship and nothing else and nothing more. Sorry, I have to have a minute off. Oh, komm her. So langweilig, ne? Ich muss gerne was Aufregendes erleben draußen. Ne? Oh, Norris wants to have an adventure here. Komm her. Ich schmust ein bisschen mit mir, ne? I'm just cuddling him a bit. So these are the foundations of the Pergamon altar. For the altar's construction, the base of the altar measured around 36 by 33 meters and was decorated on the outside with a detailed depiction in high relief of the gigantomachy, the battle between the Olympian gods and the giants. There you got it spot on. And this is a legend. And the correct version would be that the giants were the offspring of the sons of God together with the daughters of men. And that was the cause of the Great Flood. That is what, of course, that Wikipedia won't tell you. But nevertheless, it's a battle between good and evil, Brett.
Mm-hmm.
So, gigantomachy means giants. The battle of the giants means gigantomachy. Mm-hmm. In the New Testament book of Revelation, Wikipedia tells us, the faith of the Pergamon believers who dwell where Satan's throne is, quote unquote, is commended by the author. Many scholars believe that the seat of Satan refers to the Pergamon altar due to its resemblance to a gigantic throne. Ah, Brad, how hard can it be?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? How hard can it be?
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's like the giant stones in the pyramids, huh? How hard can it be?
Yeah.
A comment from Alex R. is when Satan's plan was refused, he became angry and turned in open rebellion against God. His arguments were so convincing that 1/3 of all the Heavenly Father's spirit children followed after Satan. Lucifer and his followers, so that's the old name, were cast out of heaven and denied ever having mortal bodies. I do not back up that. They are spiritually dead, meaning that they are eternally cut off from the presence of God. That is untrue. I do not back it up, yeah, because Satan can still get to the throne of God because he has to obey orders from God, at least in the book of Job. Yeah, but all these depictions of these fallen angels with bodies with wings on it are clearly a depiction of the fallen ones. For example, here, Barbarella with Jane Fonda from the beginning of the 1970s and the Great Tyrant. Yeah, this is called the Great Tyrant. Yeah, and I thought, oh, that's very interesting. That reminds me of the lamentation of the King of Tyre, huh? Ezekiel 28, Brad.
Mm-hmm.
Remember?
Right.
Right. Okay. Of course, what Pergamon is famous for is that he had the second most famous library in the ancient world, was competing with Alexandria to collect all the extant literature and the most famous scholars out there, kinds of like Cambridge versus Oxford. But the insight of the oncologist was also interesting. So back to that video here. They say that the Pergamon temple, or that temple of Zeus, or let's say Satan's seat in the biblical terms, was the largest altar in antiquity. Of course, who is in the possession of the largest altar in antiquity when it comes down to pagan gods? It must be the head god, Brad.
Right.
Yeah, so the altar of Zeus can be correct if you believe in the Olympian gods, especially when these depictions of their giants are in that stone. Yeah, so that is clearly a resemblance to the Olympic gods. So that might be the altar of Zeus, but Zeus or Jupiter or whom else is just another name of Satan. So it's absolutely easy, I think. Yeah. So, and that is not only the altar of Zeus, but that is also the altar of Jupiter, the altar of every pagan name of Satan that you can come across. If you name him Lucifer, if you name him Pan, like pandemic, yeah, like panic, yeah, I don't care. Because the inscription here of these giants, Gigantomachy, the battle between the giants and the Olympic god, is clearly a rebellion against their pagan gods. And so that is a rebellion like Nimrod, that's a rebellion like the Titans, that's a rebellion like the giants. Yeah, but the giants here, that has a close resemblance to the story of Genesis 6:4. This video says this was the largest altar in antiquity. You can just imagine the billows or what else of smoke that would go into the air. Yeah, because of all the burnt offerings. I can't tell where the offerings actually happened. If it were happening on top of that, I don't know. But I know that the victims, they could not escape because, of course, of all the stairs here. There would be guards everywhere, and so they were doomed to be burned for a sacrifice, which is clearly depicted in the book of Revelation, which we have talked about last time. And I came across in Bavaria, in Germany, which is Roman Catholic to the core, I came across to the statue of their patroness of the county of Bavaria, which is in the south of Germany. And by the way, that is the county where these crazy Austrian called Adolf Hitler rose to power. In Munich, where also the seat of the papal nuncio, Eugenio Pacelli, who later became Pope Pius, was also being located in Munich, which is the secret capital city of Germany when it comes down to religious belief. This is Munich. So, and this Bavaria here, this county has been named after a pagan god who never existed. Yeah, with the laurels here. Yeah, look at this. Look at the shape here, Brett. Yeah, and compare that with the Pergamon altar. That looks quite similar. Has not that much stairs. Okay, I'll give you this, but it's very interesting if you really compare that.
Yeah, and the giant statue with the figure holding up a laurel, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's very
Talk
revealing.
about Roman gods, huh?
Yes, yes. Yeah, in Germany it's absolutely worse because in America it's not better because you got a justice system. In Germany we say Justiz, you say justice, and justice is after Justitia, yeah, the Roman goddess. So it's all Roman. Yeah, look at your capital and you see the resemblance to the Roman style. And then the meat from these sacrifices, speaking of the Pergamon altar, would be taken down. We're talking about the meat of burnt offerings of children of people, etc. This meat from these sacrifices would be taken down into the lower city and sold in the public markets. Yeah, and that is the absolute depiction here of the book of Revelation. I can't find that verse at the moment. Can't find it. Okay, so we talked about that last time. I can't find it at this moment. Okay. So that is the altar which now has been on display in Berlin, Brett.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we are doomed. Yeah, because we are displaying the seed of Satan in Germany. Yeah. So meat sacrificed to idols. Yeah. Which had been slain just a few hours before. Yeah, Paul had addressed it in 1 Corinthians. That is, okay, thank you. I did not know that this is just a few months old, this script here. In 1 Corinthians 7 and 8, it has been mentioned here.
Yes, Michael. 1 Corinthians 7 and 8. What chapter? Okay, well, let's read
1 Corinthians 8, yeah, you see.
Okay,
yeah.
1 Corinthians chapter 8, verses 7 and 8. Okay. Howbeit there is not in...
every man. Not in every man?
Okay. Howbeit there is not in every man that knowledge, for some with conscience of idol unto this hour ate it as a thing offered unto an idol, and their conscience being weak is defiled. But meat commandeth us not to God, for neither if we eat we are the better, neither if we eat not we are the worse.
Yeah, so they eat, or they ate things offered to an idol, so which is things which allegedly happened in Pergamon. It's good. Oh, Norris got just frightened. Oh, these are just horror stories here for ferrets, huh? Come on.
People.
Come on. Everything is okay. Everything is okay. Like to get down. Okay, there you go. I love you so much. Yeah, talking about eat and meat, huh? So maybe some things will reappear, Brett. Yeah, because we are talking about the coming food crisis, aren't we? So guess what kind of a solution they would present us.
Oh yeah, Soylent Green, right?
Yeah, so they made also these emperors as a god, so that means they make God in our own image, and not God made the man in his image, but they made God in our image. Yeah, so it's exchanging the roles, exchanging the sides, the position. Yeah, and also, of course, they were engaged in sexual immorality. And don't forget, when we talked about the angels last time, I can also name the angel of the bottomless pit. Yeah, remember that is very easy to depict. That is Revelation 9:11, of course. Yeah, Apollyon the destroyer, or another name of Satan, Brett. Yeah, and this is the angel of the bottomless pit. Yeah, the angel of the bottomless pit. Yeah, this is another name of Satan.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
This is just names in disguise, as you just mentioned then, a few minutes ago. Yeah, these are just names in disguise. Yeah, this is unbelievable. You see, this is unbelievable, and of course, everybody, UNESCO and all these people, they are venerating all these pagan sites. Yeah. And also, this Pergamon was an ancient location of healing. So how surprising when you know what kind of animal is depicting for healing and medicine, Brett.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the Asclepion, you see the stone columns with the snake. Yeah. Of course, that is the veneration of Asclepion. Yeah. Particular Galen, one of the fathers of medicine. Yeah. So many famous doctors, they were located here around Pergamon. This Galen was a father of medicine. He actually is famous in the Roman world, was born here in Pergamon. Yeah? The main Asclepion actually had the Hippocratic tradition. Yeah, so this is the entire roots of medicine nowadays are also from the Greek Hellenistic Empire and age. And we think about Hippocrates, the so-called father of medicine. Yeah, you see that who most likely never existed, because these are all just fairy tales and legends. Yeah, so it's easy to fake something, Brett, when you're the only one who is in the possession of writing down and controlling the media. In history,
or the press.
or the press, documentaries.
It's interesting, and when you're living in a day and age like today, they still call it the press, and it goes all the way back to the printing press, doesn't it, Michael?
Yeah, it was a German guy also, that is Gutenberg, yeah.
Yeah, that's right, Gutenberg. That's right. All the way back to Germany. Yeah, the very heart of the Reformation.
So in his tradition and the tradition of Hippocrates, that we still follow in modern medicine. Yeah, there's a heating tunnel even in Pergamon. Yeah, where the patients have been put in there. Yeah, and a lot of times you would induce a dream sleep. Sometimes with some medicines, healing could actually come through your dreams from the gods. Yeah, these tunnels.
Oh.
Yeah, and the priest. I think that is in the next page. Yeah, and the priest is above, and he is then shouting, encouraging the people. Yeah, you see, this is ancient healing. True healing comes from God, and not from pagan images and idols and priests and Hippocrates and all the stuff, huh?
Right.
Oh my. Yeah, they were saturated with idolatry. Yeah, sure. Validating their opinion or their idea, what they want to. And what they are upset about isn't the fact that I am claiming. Sorry, no. Yeah, okay, so that I will skip that. But nowadays, this Pergamon altar, or the seat of Satan, the Satan seat, is in Germany, and according to some researchers, Albert Speer, who was the designer of that German Führer and leader and dictator Adolf Hitler, he also built that Nuremberg podium according to the Pergamon altar. Yeah, and that is here this enlightened view. Adolf Hitler says the concluding meeting in Nuremberg must be exactly as solemnly and ceremonially performed as a service of the Catholic Church, quote unquote. Which is very interesting, because when you compare that, what's the name of the book? Psychologie der Massen. Yeah, Psychology of the Masses, I think it is. Gustav Le Bon. Yeah, that's Psychology of the Masses from the French doctor Gustave Le Bon. How to control masses, and the one who's standing here at the podium is none other than Adolf Hitler. Yeah, so Psychology of the Masses from the French doctor Gustave Le Bon, how to manipulate and indoctrinate the masses, clearly depicts Adolf Hitler at the Nuremberg gatherings in, I think it was 1936 or so. Yeah, and this Hitler Nuremberg was also modeled, Nuremberg, 1934, yeah. Was clearly modeled after this Pergamon altar also. Some researchers say, but what's more important also is that there is somebody on top who's directing the masses below, so he's superior. And this is a symbol. The swastika is also not a symbol of luck in the ancient Rome, but a symbol for the sun, for the black sun especially. Yeah, so it's absolutely negative. Yeah.
Oh, okay, Michael. So, sorry to interrupt you. I have a comment. I can hold it for a while. It's no big deal. But I just finally figured out, where that, Our Lady of Montserrat was this pagan goddess or whatever they put in. Oh yeah, it's a statue of the Madonna of the Child venerated at Santa Maria de Montserrat Monastery. on the Montserrat mountain in Catalonia, Spain. So that has to do with Ignatius of Loyola, and I think there's a picture of that with she's standing on like a.
Is that what you're looking for?
Yes, and she's standing on a globe. I thought,
No,
not on this image, but there is one.
Okay. Okay.
There is one with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see if it comes up. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not coming up. But anyway, I can't remember where it was. I was reading about it. I just thought it really, just really strange.
At least it's similar.
Yeah, I think it has to do with, boy, that was so many years ago I came across that. Yeah, it's similar. Maybe Yerk would know more about it than I do.
I don't know anything about that at the moment, so I can't help.
Yeah, I understand. But anyway, that's a different study for a different day, I guess. But I thought that was interesting that you found that there is this depiction of the globe with the emperor standing
once
on
again,
it.
You see, once again, if you know all these emperors and kings, Charles the Great.
Oh, by the way, the just before I forget, Michael, I'm sorry. Go ahead. It's okay. The Lady of Montserrat is holding the globe, not standing on it. But I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you see here these Charlemagne, Karl der Große. Yeah, so Charles the Great. Yeah, look what he's having in his hand. He's having
same kind of deal. Right.
Same kind of deal. Yeah, as the Lady of Montserrat.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So instead of God having the earth in his hands, it's this stupid idol having the globe in his hand or whatever. And isn't that interesting though that the statue of Persephone, I think it is, on the Capitol dome of District of Columbia, USA. There she stands on top of the globe as well, and there's 12 fasci that's around the globe. So, yeah, that's a pretty telling statue right there. Yeah, if you look at the bottom of there it is. You can see it right there on that.
You mean maybe this?
There it is. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So, yeah, that's our lovely United States Capitol, huh?
Statue of Freedom.
What freedom does that represent? Freedom from God's law. Yeah. Freedom to do as thou
as I told you, in the New Jerusalem, you won't find the First Amendment. Yeah.
No. Well, that's a different thing, but, that's a different thing because you have this long battle in this country over, representation in government. And, there is some truth to getting a righteous man in the position of power, because that's what everyone wants here in this country, actually. But they don't know that, of course, because they've forgotten their history, Michael, so we've lost it.
Yeah, we have not been taught. Yeah, we only have taught things which are important in the world of mammon. Yeah, to work as a slave, to pay taxes.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
For the good of all, right? The common good.
Yeah, but you see that CBN, of course, they tell you that the Pergamon temple inspired Albert Speer to build Hitler a podium. So he's, of course, in the line of the Antichrist. And he says the concluding meeting in Nuremberg must be exactly as solemnly and ceremonially performed as a service of the Catholic Church, if that quote is correct, with the sun symbol, Catholic Church, with the oblate. Or monstrance.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah, and enlightened. You see, that is a so-called cathedral of light. Yeah, so it's a ceremony cathedral. Come on. Come on. Yeah.
What kind of light is that, huh?
Yeah.
Is that the light of Christ or the light of Lucifer?
And that is the same light that they was beaming upon on the remains of World Trade Center Tower 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
pathetic.
even they used that kind of a ceremony in the closing ceremonies of the 1936 Olympics. Olympics. Ring a bell, Brett?
Olympia. Oh, yeah.
Zeus,
Sure.
Gigantomachy, yeah, the giants versus the Olympian gods. Yeah. Yeah. And those events happened at night, which gives a contrasting effect, of course, of Germans swore what they call an holy oath. Yeah, great. To the leader Adolf Hitler. Yeah, you see, a low-ranking
man.
soldier from the First World War has been then praised as the leader of the German Reich or German public. It's unbelievable. Yeah, you can make people believe everything. Yeah. And people think, how was that possible these days? That they all were just raising their hands and shouting Heil, Heil. How was that possible? Yeah. I give a question in return. How was the situation in 2020 possible?
Right. That's right.
Yeah, by manipulation by mass media. Formerly in 1930 something, they had only radio. Yeah,
And they call us misinformation. Oh, you're listening to the misinfo here on Brett Norman's channel.
Yeah,
and we get hit with all these strikes.
Minus plus minus equals a positive outcome. You see that?
Yeah, right.
If you are famous in this world, then you must be on the wrong side, on the Broadway. A holy oath, yeah, when you are not supposed to swear. Yeah, so maybe that triumph of the will of Leni Riefenstahl, which was the so-called official director of Adolf Hitler, a German woman who was dedicated to the Führer, she made that propaganda movie, The Triumph of the Will. And they claim that it was maybe the greatest propaganda.
Yeah.
sending out of cardinals in a foreign mission. That is what propaganda actually means.
You see, it's a Jesuitical mission, yeah.
That's why they have to get rid of all the news and they have to get rid of etymology, and they will present you most likely will present you also a new common language which everybody knows. Maybe it is the language of smileys.
Yeah, they want to eliminate all the history altogether. Yeah,
sure. Yeah, because when you come really down to the source of all, you just research propaganda, and you know that it's a committee of cardinals in charge of the foreign missions of the Catholic Church. And that foreign mission, from the viewpoint of Italy, means Germany.
What was this again? Congregato di Propaganda
Sorry, yes.
That's
Congregation of the Propagating the Faith, Congregatio de Propaganda Fide.
Isn't that the name of the institution that took over the Inquisition?
Mm-hmm.
It is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we have the Inquisition right in front of our face, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a new kind of digital Inquisition.
Oh, yeah, well, there's that too. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The 21st century Inquisition, I guess. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, digital currency, digital Inquisition, yeah. It's just only one computer who controls you 24/7. What did you say? What did you do? Where did you go? Whom do you meet?
Yeah, and we can thank George W. Bush and the Bushes there for bringing forth the wonderful all that junk that they brought to the table here. September 11, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So every time you see the leaders are being presented like a godlike figure, it's like a Caesar, huh? Because that is a Roman salute, and which was in former times the Olympic salute. So you don't be misinformed. This is not the German salute. Yeah, it goes back to the Olympians then.
Yeah, right.
Because the Olympians, they were the Hellenistic, the Alexander the Great, the former empire before the Romans took over. These were the kingdom before the Romans took over. Hitler as a godlike figure, yes. Or what did George W. Bush say?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Um,
You mean the interview that George W. Bush had with
he spoke about a crusade, yeah? He spoke
Oh,
about a
yeah.
crusade, so that's also a
Okay.
religious item, huh?
Of
Yeah.
course, yeah.
Yeah, and Hitler was being sold as a messiah, would be descending down through the heavens through the clouds, like a fallen angel. Yeah?
Right.
Hitler
Well,
often
yeah,
borrowed
that's
Christian phrases, like in the scene with the Hitler Youth. Yeah, it's just a script from the Roman Catholic Church. Yeah, which is almost like a religious chant he goes into his speech. Borrows that from the Roman Catholic ritual, which is very familiar because he was a Roman Catholic. Yeah, friend of Eugenio Pacelli. On the evening of September the 15th in 1935, Hitler announced the Nuremberg laws that took away German citizenship from Jews. Oh, there's so much to talk about, yeah. Then they had about the marginalization, there is an A missing, of the Jews. It's like as if they would be not vexed these days, huh? Yeah, and so that is the final solution for the first time in public. Yeah, so the final solution means to get rid of the Jews, to deport them out of Germany, and to concentrate them in camps. The seat of Satan. Well, it's very interesting. It's another video, Pergamon and Nazi Germany. And they stripped the Jews of their rights as citizens. Yeah, so that is the same as in the Roman Empire. Yeah, when they had
that's very interesting you bring this up, Michael. Now, do you know when that building we looked at earlier that is almost a very obvious resemblance of the Pergamon altar, when was that built?
You mean that Bavaria statue?
Yeah, yeah.
I would have to look that up. I can't tell you.
I think we did look that up, didn't we? And we were trying to figure that out before, I believe. I was just wondering if you knew off the top of your head.
That's the Hall of
Hall
of Glory.
There it is. Oh, they call it the Hall of Glory.
Yeah, we can do that in English.
1843.
Let's look it up. Yes, yeah. So Bavaria is that Hall of Fame. So Hall of Fame. Yeah, sorry, not Hall of Glory. Hall of Fame commissioned by Ludwig I of Bavaria between 1845 and 1850.
Right. Okay. Got it. Got it. So that came after. Not long after. Oh. So this is the Bavarian statue and lion. So it doesn't say who that's a statue of, does it? Is that Diana?
Yeah, it's a statue of Bavaria. It's the name given to that statue. Yeah, where is Bavarian coming from?
That is, that's all.
Free State of Bavaria, the largest German state by land. The history of Bavaria, Celtic tribes, followed by conquest of the Roman Empire. Bavaria has a unique blah blah blah. German dialect. I can't tell you. The name Bavarian means man of Baia, which may indicate Bohemia, the homeland of the Celtic boy and later of the Marcomanni. The first appear in about 520. Yeah. So much so. Yeah. Hitler's final solution is now known as the Holocaust, and Holocaust is a name which has to be avoided in Germany. It's unbelievable. Yeah. From the Greek word that means a holy burnt animal sacrifice, and I think then we're very close to the Pergamon altar, the seat of Satan, right? You see, it's always the same. It's another name now. You got a Greek name about a burnt sacrifice, but it's all sacrifice. It's every death, occur, every murder.
So in other words, they consider anyone whom gets in the way of their agenda an animal. they don't consider you human anymore. Even.
Oh yeah, this is very interesting when you would know that in English in patents in American archive in the United States, pest means also animal or a human person. You can't distinct the one from another.
Oh yeah, pest. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, what I would just like to point out, you see these human burnt sacrifices they did in Pergamon, the same they did in the World Wars. You see that Apollyon in Revelation 9:11 is depicting the destroyer. So when God is the creator, what is the opposite of creating? Destroying.
Sure.
So he's the opponent of God and of Jesus Christ. Yeah, so therefore he's in German we have a saying which means that nobody has no meaning. Everybody has a meaning. At least he can serve as a bad example. Yeah, and that's how you can look at Satan too. You see that his use is to be the accuser of the brethren. His use is to be evil to the core, that people really see that God is good. Yeah? Otherwise they would not have any meaning of differentiation. And Eve wanted to taste the fruit of the forbidden tree of the knowledge between good and evil. So therefore evil entered the world.
Mm-hmm.
So the faithful martyr Antipas died a holy burnt sacrifice on the altar of Zeus. That is what is been talked about at the book of Revelation in the chapter 2 when it comes down to Pergamon. Yeah? But it's called, I think it was Antipas. Antipas, my faithful. Yeah.
I know that works and where thou dwellest, even where Satan's seat is, and thou holdest fast my name, and hast not denied my faith, even in those days wherein Antipas was my faithful martyr, who was slain among you, where Satan dwelleth. Yes.
Yeah. So when they speak about who was slain among you, where Satan's seat is, then of course it is a burnt offering.
Yes.
There are not many other possibilities then. You see, of course, maybe
but
he was...
the definition is an animal sacrifice, correct?
Yeah.
Not a human sacrifice.
Yeah, but that is also not correct here. The altar of Zeus, actually, it's Satan's seat. It must be the faithful martyr Antipas died a holy burnt sacrifice on Satan's seat. Or on Pergamon altar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The center of a redesigned Pergamon altar, the bronze bull. A bull, huh?
Where do we know that from?
Yeah, where do we know that from? Exodus, anyone?
Yes.
Was replaced by, I don't know, then I cut it short here, sorry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you see that all these people, these burnt sacrifices, 6 million Jews, which is, I'm not allowed to talk about it, but of course that 6 is of course also a code figure. Yeah, that number.
That's right. It's the number of a man, isn't it?
Yeah, that was long ago. The number was be known years.
Well, we read that chapter in Isaiah.
Mm.
You know, that the heart is deceitful above all things. Who can know it?
Mm.
You know, we're wicked. The people are wicked by default. It's not something that you have a choice about. You're just that way. You have to repent of the wickedness. That's the point. Be born again.
Yeah, after the war, it was Albert Speer who was the creator of this Nuremberg site location. He said, it's hard to recognize the devil when he's got his hand on your shoulder. Or maybe what he's up to is, it's better to look the other way.
Oh, it's better to rebuke Satan and get him off your back. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, because the Antichrist has been clearly defined in 1 John 2:18 that every spirit that does not confess that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is not of God.
You said 1 John 4:3?
Yeah, that is what that website here depicts.
Oh, it says up there, it says 2:18. What's that?
I have to look it up actually because that script is half a year old.
can read it.
Ah.
Little children, it is the last time, and as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come, even now there are many antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time.
Yeah. There will be no other kingdom.
Thanks, Michael.
Yeah, thank you, because I could not remember that.
Mm-hmm.
It's too long ago, but you see that is very interesting when you combine all the stuff, when you really see what in Germany happened after they have gotten that Pergamon altar. Yeah, they were made responsible for 2 world wars with how many burnt sacrifices? Millions.
Yeah, that's the irony of this life, Michael. It seems that, there are these huge swaths of people that want an easy, productive life, and they choose to take the spirit of Antichrist, and they make all kinds of money, and they do all this wicked stuff, and they think it's just fine. They're going to be just fine.
You see, this is the tribune here in Nuremberg. Yeah, you see the stairs and how far he's been elevated here. And you see that these columns here, it clearly depicts the temple.
Could you zoom in on that just a smidge? Oh, you already did. Oh, I see.
No, I did not, because I just compared that to Stalin, which, so you see here maybe
right.
better.
Yes, better.
And we can also, or here, and we can compare that to Stalin, you see that. Images and
was
idols.
Was it Stalin a product of the Jesuits?
Yes, he was. Joseph Stalin.
And so was Lenin.
Stalin means actually the man of steel.
Yeah.
You know who also been called the man of steel?
Oh, I forget now.
Superman.
Yeah, right. Of course.
Yeah. So Pergamon Museum, and you see this.
What was that in Deutsch now? This guy, this Nietzsche.
Nietzsche. Oh yeah, he will appear later on.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, but what I would really point out, you see that these stairs and left and right, this tribune here, and also you see this all resembles the temple and elevation and.
Oh
this
putting yourself above others.
Ceremonies, ceremonies.
Hierarchy,
Yeah. Commitment of BDM means Bund Deutscher Mädchen means community of German girls. Leaders at the Pergamon Museum 1937. They do not know what they are doing. Because they are ordered to from their school, you see. They are wearing the flags, and later on they will be accused of being a Nazi. Although they did not have any chance, because they were indoctrinated. It's the same as our youth nowadays. Yeah, they've been indoctrinated, and years later or decades later, there will be spitted on and said, "Oh, you were a dumb Nazi." Yeah, they did not know any better.
Yeah, it's a Roman indoctrination.
Yeah.
Look, they're carrying staffs. I mean, everyone has their own research and how they look at things. I'll tell you, when I see a bundle of rods, a fasci with an axe on it, I immediately think that this is just a way to give hundreds of people weapons quickly. So that way you can beat the pulp out of someone that you want to do away with. I don't know.
I will show that here on one page. Yeah, I have to a little bit decrease the size. Yeah, on one page. Yeah, in the courtyard of the Pergamon Museum in Berlin, where the Satan's seat is. Yeah, 400 young girls are committed to leaders of the BDM. They take the oath on Hitler before a burning flame case. Yeah, that is a religious ceremony.
Sure. It's a Catholic ceremony.
Yes. Yeah, so and nowadays people are just going with their smartphone and all distraction into that Pergamon museum with the Easter gate, Easter, and do not know anything. I assume, yeah, that the majority of people do not know what happened there with the burnt sacrifices, and that is in the book of Revelation because nobody reads the Bible. And I do not know. I know who I could ask. But I do not know at this moment why Mr. Carl Human has excavated the remains in Pergamon. Where does he get the information, and who has financed it? You see that I got a very strong suspicion, but I can't prove it at this moment.
Right.
But you can think on your own about that. No? So that Pergamon altar, which is now on display in Berlin, we know that is showing the battle between the giants and the Olympic gods. So it has something to do with the giants, or with the Book of Giants, the Apocrypha, or with Genesis 6:4. There were giants in those days. So it's very interesting. Yeah, they have been venerating, these giants have been venerating at Satan's seat. So therefore, I think it's very interesting to go into this. So this museum in Berlin was erected in 1901 on Berlin's Museum Island. Also, they got a famous reconstruction of the Ishtar Gate. Yes, it was named.
Geez, that reminds me, Michael, that the museum goes all the way back to this search I did some months ago on the Counter-Reformation. And there was this article that came up from the Vatican News website, and they were boasting about how the first museum was initiated by the papacy. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, what do you know?
Yeah, you see,
that museum was part of the Counter-Reformation.
Museum means the Temple of the Muses. It's also Greek.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So there we go. I mean, it's just layer after layer, a layer of indoctrination going on here. And, how do you ever make sense of it all if you don't slow down and study it,
At that moment, that very moment, that Pergamon Museum is closed due to renovation. But I fear the moment that they will reopen it, because I think that also they will set it to a special occult date, maybe the 9th of November, I do not know. 9/11 or something like this. And of course, as it is in Berlin, you can expect that there will some things happening. For example, that there will some people disappearing in Berlin, never to be found, used. Yeah, you can stress your own imagination, Brett, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You can stress your own imagination. Yeah. The Gigantomachy frieze on the outside, depicting the war between the giants and or the gigantes giants and the Olympic gods. On the outside of the Pergamon altar avoids to a great extent any direct references to contemporary military campaigns, except for the Star of Macedonia. Aha!
Gold, even.
Yeah. Such items were found on both the mainland and the islands of Greece. The motif usually had 16, 12, or 8 rays. 8, interesting, huh? Ishtar. And sometimes it was a religious symbol connected with the 12 Olympic gods. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Well, that ties right in with the Maltese cross, because when you look at the popular use of the Maltese cross, it has 12 points, 13 points actually, but you have 12 different points on the outside, one on the inside. So, yeah, interesting stuff.
Yeah. So, ask Father Wikipedia, and Father Wikipedia will tell you, contrary to popular belief, the Pergamon altar is not a temple, but probably the altar of a temple. Oh. Oh my. You see, what did the Israelites had in the desert when they were building the golden calf? Just the golden calf, huh? And some stones. They did not need a church to have a temple.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's the problem. People associate a building with the church, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Why is that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I never have. I mean, I don't understand that. To me, church is the people. It's not the building. The building is just something you have to pay for.
Yeah, Gigantomachy. So see, this is the real nitty-gritty in it. Yeah, this is the real nitty-gritty in it. And I'm sorry that we need so many sessions about that, because you really see my train of thoughts and the line of facts here. This was a struggle in Greek mythology. The Gigantomachy, the battle fought between the giants and the Olympic gods for supremacy of the cosmos, so of everything.
Oh boy, what a joke.
Hmm.
The supremacy of the cosmos.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, and so this is depicted in Pergamon. Yeah, you see all this this depiction here. No? What a coincidences! One coincidence after the other. Yeah, this is one coincidence after the other. But I would like to skip that because everybody can look it up on Wikipedia. So that's yeah. You see, this is a model here in antiquity. And of course, you can imagine where they have burned their sacrifices. I guess it was not on the stairs.
No, of course not.
Yeah. And there's also frieze of the giants and oceanos, so the oceans. Yeah, and giants and all the stuff. And the north frieze and west frieze and giants
Serpents.
everywhere. Giants everywhere. Where you look, everywhere are giants. Yeah, it's like gorillas. Yeah, it's giants.
Yeah, right. You could exchange.
Yeah, you see, this is a combination of all the stuff. You see that collection of statues and all the stuff. You see that only supports pagan idolatry. Yeah. The design of the Pergamon Museum was inspired by the gigantic form of the altar. Yeah, you see that. Of course, this is a World Heritage Site. Then, yeah, so you have to. Every time you depict a pagan temple, and then the seat of Satan, so Berlin must be very proud, huh? The Pergamon altar, also called the altar of Zeus, was essentially a giant war monument. No, it was the seat of Satan, and it is a war monument when it is a war between good and evil. It was built around 166 to 156 before Christ on the Acropolis above Pergamon, a city in what's today part of Turkey, yes. And dominating the altar is a massive work of sculpture, a frieze depicting the battle of the giants. Yeah, so that is very interesting because we know that the giants, in a biblical way, they were the offspring of the fallen ones together with the daughters of men. Yeah, so that is the war between Antichrist and Christ then. Or between the spirit of Antichrist and the spirit of Christ. So that is that side.
Yeah, that's right.
Also resembles the letter A little bit, no? Like alpha. Yeah, and that's another example. That guy is an actor and called Obama, if I remember correctly. And any resemblance is just coincidence. It is just coincidence, Brett.
Sure.
Must be coincidence, yeah. Obama placed his podium at the exact location as the altar of Zeus, just as Hitler did. Not comparing anybody with Hitler.
Oh, well, hey, he came from Georgetown University, didn't he? Product of Georgetown.
Yeah, but Hitler, on the other way, was a product of Austria. He was not a German.
Well, right. I mean, this is the difference between the United States and Europe. It's a pretty big difference. But in a sense, it's not that different either, is it? I mean...
Yeah, you see, but this is essential for our upcoming sessions, that you really see one step at another, and you really see all the things that are really taking place. These are no coincidences happening around there. Yeah, they tell you in the symbolism, they tell you everything. Yeah, but you have to have a backup, a foundation in history, in real history, and you have to study on your own. There is no official lessons, there are no official classes. No, you have to do that on your own. Yeah, you have to do that on your own. You have to see all this significance of all the symbolism they are using, huh? Yeah, you see, what do you think? You're living in a Christian country with that kind of imagery? with a globe in his hands, like a Roman emperor?
Wow,
Obama the Great or what?
No,
or
it's
the mammon.
Shiva. Shiva,
Whom do you serve? Yeah, Shiva. Yeah, whom do
the
you serve?
goddess. Yeah.
Who do you serve, God or the mammon? Whom do you
Well,
serve?
that's obvious.
That's obvious. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
obvious.
The
When you're
throne of
holding a
Satan.
pile of debt notes in your hand,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know where to close the session down because it's for me that is fascinating because it's part of the German history as well.
Well,
Yeah.
keep going,
Yeah,
man.
you see here, you got a throne of Satan. This is a German page of a certain Horst Koch, so that's the name of that guy who has made a contribution in German. And I do not know if I have translated it, yes, into English. On 1878, Carl Schumann began searching for the famous altar in Pergamon after he quickly found what he was looking for. That means he's got a tip, I think, huh? He quickly found what he was looking for. Excavated parts ended up in Berlin in 1879. From 1902, they were placed in the old Pergamon Museum, temporarily in a temporary location. Then from 1930, Brett, this is just 3 years before the Nazis came into power.
Ah.
In the newly built Pergamon Museum, which was built in the old place on the museum island in the middle of Berlin after the first Pergamon Museum was demolished. Yeah, tell me, this is just 1 year after the Lateran Treaty, huh? After the Vatican was having his own supremacy, sovereignty once again, huh?
Good point, Michael. Yeah, just 1 year.
The Pergamon altar was erected between 180 and 160 as a monumental altar dedicated to Zeus. No, it was Satan's seat, and measuring approximately 36 by 34 meters. Multiply that with 3 and you got foot. Yeah, 100 foot by 100 foot or so. The altar was built by Julius II, yes, we know. Along the sides of the altars is a frieze depicting scenes from Greek mythology. Representation of snakes and ritual processes are striking. The altar was probably designed for human sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
That's what every altar, every pagan altar has been designed for that only purpose. They venerate the death, they venerate destruction, they venerate Apollyon the Destroyer. The very steep stairs leading up were not accessible for animals. It is quite improbable that the offering of non-living sacrifices was only carried out for a libation. It can be assumed that prisoners of war and later Christians were sacrificed in ritual acts on this altar. Yes, if you know of Antipas, my faithful martyr, you only have to read the Bible.
Yeah.
Haven't we talked about that lately? My, oh my, so many biblical references, and people do not rely on the Bible. That is very interesting. They avoid the Bible at any cost. Yeah, every time that I try to see through, people avoid it at any cost.
Well, that means
Yeah,
I'm
Antipas,
a sinner,
my faithful
Michael.
martyr, who was slain among you. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. And that article you would never find because it's only available in German usually, I think. Yeah, so you have only to insert the Bible here. But, and there you go. My faithful martyr was slain among you, where Satan's seat is. The altar has been demolished in Byzantine times and lay buried for a long time before it was excavated by German archaeologists and brought to Berlin. Ha ha, what a coincidence. What effect did it have that Satan's throne was in the middle of Berlin? It has devastating effects. After this altar was erected, 2 world wars and the Holocaust emanated from Berlin. Okay, that is the author's opinion, but it's a striking resemblance, I say. In the more than 1,000 years of German history that had preceded it, nothing nearly as catastrophic happened as it did at the beginning of the 20th century. The more than 1,000 years of German history have certainly not been a single highlight, but they did not stand out negatively compared to the history of other nations. This changed when Satan's throne was erected in Berlin. Germany went into her own catastrophe, taking many nations with her and causing immense misery. Millions of people died. The Jews suffered particularly badly. Yeah, what does it mean actually when that Satan's throne has been erected in Berlin? That the core of Satan worshippers are on a pilgrimage towards Berlin. It is an altar nevertheless. The Jews suffered particularly badly, yes.
Oh boy. Here we go. This guy.
This guy is called Leonard Cohen.
Oh boy.
Cohen means a Jewish priest. He has made a song, or written a song, called First We Take Manhattan, Then We Take Berlin. So is there something to it? Manhattan means the main island of New York City, from Dutch, from a native name perhaps, representing a Delaware source akin to Muncie Monhannon Island, where one gathers bows. Also the name of a cocktail. But in the etymology, we have also other explanations. There are other answers possible. The name Manhattan derives from Manhattan, as written in 1609 Lodge Book of Robert Jewett, an officer, depicts the name Manhattan, which means the word Manhattan has been translated on island of many hills. I hope it's not 7 hills.
Oh no.
Yeah, you see.
Well, I know that they took a Egyptian obelisk and put it there in Hyde Park. I know that next to that another art museum.
Yeah, but when I thought about the Pergamon temple and first we take Manhattan, then we take Berlin, I was instantly recognized. I was instantly remembered about the religious sacrifice of burned people to Satan on 9/11, Napoleon the Destroyer. 3,000 burned sacrifices, according to official narrative. Yeah, and the Judas loan, the coins of silver, they went to Mr. Silverstein, who was the owner of the property, and he was just, I think it was 2 months ago, he was insuring each of the buildings against a terrorist attack. No? Yeah, there are some lucky guys in this world.
Oh, yeah, the 20th century Judas Iscariot.
Yeah. Yeah, you see the destroyer, no? The angel of the bottomless pit, 9/11, on 9/11. Yeah, a burnt offering with much fire on it. This is a burnt offering, it's nothing else. You see, that is a temple in itself, this tooth column. It's the entrance of a temple, and there is a Solomonic temple, there's a Solomonic building, Solomon Building 7, WTC 7, yeah, the Solomon building. It's called Salomon, I know that, but for me it's a Solomon building, yeah, so it's a... Ever asked yourself the questions why they have built 2 separate columns instead of one big gigantic tower, which would be much more cost effective? Yeah, it's quite easy. Yeah, it's a temple. It was supposed to be destructed. If I remember correctly, it is also mandatory in New York City that these skyscrapers have to have some demolition devices so that in case of anything they can be brought down, but I can't back it up. Yeah, I just heard it. That is just rumor has it, and I would like to avoid it. But you see, this is all symbolism here. Also, the bridge with these strange openings here, or the pyramid on top of that building. Yeah,
that's the Brooklyn Bridge.
Brooklyn Bridge. Yeah, but you see also this on top of the pyramid here with the cornerstone on top and all the stuff. You see, this is welcome to Freemason country.
Right.
So First We Take Manhattan is a song by Canadian singer-songwriter Leonard Cohen. The song's oblique lyrics are suggestive of religious and end times themes, which references to prayer, meaningful birthmarks, and signs in the sky. The Daily Telegraph likewise observed the prophetic character of the song, but emphasized the song's political statement, placing it in the context of the last days of the Soviet Union. Yeah, sure. Cohen explained himself in a backstage interview of 1988, I think it means exactly what it says. It is a terrorist song. I think it's a response to terrorism. Yeah, when you think about that, the World Trade Center was standing and located in Manhattan, what does it mean, Brett, when he says first we take Manhattan, then we take Berlin? I'd say I would not recommend anybody to live in Berlin. It's not that I believe Mr. Cohen, it is just that I know that the seat of Satan is there.
Right, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
So, since more than 100 years, not any good came out of the city of Berlin, and don't be fooled that they think that on our German 9/11, which was the 9th of November, it's also our 9/11, because we mix months and dates.
9th of November. 9th of November. That was 1988 or
1989, when the so-called Berlin Wall fell.
1989.
The so-called reuniting of Germany, yes. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Which was planned. It was not happening by accident.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he says it is a terrorist song. First we take Manhattan, so first we take Manhattan. Yeah, then we take Berlin. Great. But it goes on and on and on. He says, there's something about terrorism that I've always admired. Yeah, you know them by the fruits. No? When somebody tells you this, then you know what his mindset is, huh? The fact that there are no alibis or no compromises, that position is always very attractive. I don't like it when it's manifested on the physical plane. I do not know how close that is to 9/11 to a physical plane. Oh, sorry. I don't really enjoy the terrorist activities by psychic terrorism. I remember there was a great poem by Irving Layton that I once read. I'll give you a paraphrase of it. It was, well, you guys blow up an occasional airline and kill a few children here and there. He says, but
I think it's a misspelling, Michael. It should be PLAIN, plane.
It has been, it is 1-to-1 from that wiki website.
Right.
Yeah?
Crazy.
You don't have to believe me, but I think I took it from the official website. So it's not my error. It is it has been implemented as it is. So let's look it up.
No, I'm sure you're right.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. First we take Manhattan, Wikipedia, okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not me.
Oh, no, it's not you, of course, but I'm just saying it's a misspelling, that's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
More than likely.
On purpose, it seems.
Or I don't know, isn't plane, like they mean like the plane of a geographical or a geodesic term? I don't know. That's the way I'm seeing what he's trying to say. But yeah, it is strange.
And then you know that terror has been depicted in Ezekiel 28 as Satan, huh?
Right.
Yeah. So Satan is the terror.
Oh, and then you have the historical definition of terrorism, which is, the historical definition from the Oxford Dictionary is government by intimidation.
Mm-hmm.
So the government's just threatening all the people. Yeah, that sounds like 9/11.
Yeah, but here the terror is depicted in Ezekiel 28:19 at alarm, hence destruction. You know who's the angel of destruction, or the destroyer is Apollyon. So Satan is the terror. And the lament about the king of Tyre says...
because it's his government, yeah.
Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. So the king of Tyre never could be in Eden, the garden of God. So it's the spirit behind the king of Tyre, which means that is Lucifer - Satan, and Satan has been called the Apollyon, the destroyer, in Hebrew tongues. Yeah, so Abaddon and Apollyon. Yeah, so that is Satan. Satan is the terror, and they do everything 180 degrees. Yeah, so in their terms, of course, Satan, the terrorists are we. Yeah, we are the terrorists. Yeah, everybody who's not in line with the agenda is a terrorist. Yeah, our terrorists: Jesus, Freud, Marx, Einstein.
It's simply a usurpation of what was.
Yeah, but you see, he's
what
depicting.
was once considered the truth. Michael.
He is depicting Jesus as terrorist.
Yeah, but the truth of the matter is that the God of this world is the terrorist because he has to rule over the people, and the only way he can do that is by instilling us with his type of fear. It's not the fear of God, it's the fear of man. Simple as that.
Yeah, but the terror is Satan or Lucifer. Yeah, so that is the evil side. Terror means fright and what it is, what it actually is. Yeah, so alarm hence. So this is the lyrics from that song. First we take Manhattan. So first we have the terror in Manhattan, or terrorists attack Manhattan. Then we take Berlin. They sentenced me to 20 years of boredom for trying to change the system from within. I'm coming to reward them. First we take Manhattan, then we take Berlin. I'm guided by a signal in the heavens. If you see that lyrics from the perspective of a follower of Satan, that means Satan is trying to change the system from within. And therefore you can't reform the church. No?
You can only usurp the church with that type of thinking.
Yeah, I'm guided by the beauty of our weapons. You see, this is clearly destruction here. First we take Manhattan, then we take Berlin.
But Michael, that lyric back there, the first one that you commented on there, for trying to change the system from within. I mean, that's what a Jesuit does, right?
Yes, and that is rebellion also.
This is a kind of admission, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it gets better. It gets better.
Yeah, right.
So the birthmark on my skin. Yeah, you can easily think that he's been in a line of Cain, for example. Yeah, or the sign of Anu. Then I'm guided by the beauty of our weapons. It can mean everything. First we take Manhattan, then we take Berlin. I'd really like to live beside you, Babylon. Yeah, baby is always, for me, it's always short form abbreviation of Babylon. I love your body and your spirit and your clothes. La 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 la.
I'm guided by this birthmark on my skin. Would that be the sign of Cain, Michael?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Actually, did I? Maybe I have explained it incorrectly. Yes, that's what I meant.
That's
the
what you
sign
meant.
of Anu, the mark of Cain. Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The mark of Cain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sign of, I think I said the sign
on
of
my skin.
Anu. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Simple enough. Right.
Yeah. First we take Manhattan, then we take Berlin. I don't like these drugs that keep you thin. Yeah, so that has something to do with psychologically or MK Ultra or what else maybe. First we take Manhattan, then we take Berlin. I love your body and your spirit and your clothes. Babylon once again. So I like to live beside you, Babylon. I like your body and your spirit and your clothes. So I like your doctrine. Maybe can also mean, but that's not the big thing.
Scarlet.
Uh-huh.
Purple and scarlet.
Yeah. I haven't got into that 100%, the monkey and the plywood will, and I would have to look it up, but you see, that is not my intention. Well, it's Father's Day, and everybody wounded baby. Yeah, it's Father's Day, and interesting. So it's a day of the father, which is unbiblical, because the Father's Day is actually a Sabbath, the day to remember the father, the real father. Yeah? But this is Leonard Norman Cohen. He's not coming only out of Canada. He's the member of the Order of Canada and a member of the National Order of Quebec. Yeah, so he's a knight. He was born into an Orthodox Jewish family. Yeah, Cohen. His Lithuanian mother, Masha Klonotsky, immigrated to Canada in 1927 and was the daughter of a Talmudic writer and rabbi, Solomon Klonitsky Klein. Cohen means a priest. So this could be a prophecy. First we take Manhattan, then we take Berlin.
You mean a Talmudic prophecy?
On the topic of being a Cohen, he said in 1967, he said, I had a very messianic childhood. I was told I was a descendant of Aaron the high priest. You know who Aaron is, huh? Or was. He was the builder of the golden calf.
Ooh.
He was the brother of Moses. So he's not an ordinary writer. You see, his mother was a daughter of a rabbi, and he was told that he was a descendant of Aaron the high priest. Yeah, that's here from that article, Leonard Cohen, the Romantic in the Rag Pickers Trade Archived, etc. He's the son of a wealthy Jewish parents in Montreal. I had a very Messianic childhood, he told Richard Goldstein in 1967. I was told I was a descendant of Aaron the high priest. He was published poet at the age of 20, lived on an island in Greece, for 8 years, published a couple of novels, came to New York in 1966 and captured the attention of the pop music world with a song called Suzanne, recorded by Judy Collins, etc., etc. This is Aaron. So, that is just one example that Berlin has been very prominently named. Yeah, Kohen means a priest. A priest is the Hebrew word for a priest used in reference to the Aaronic priesthood, also called Aaronites or Aaronides. Or Aaronides. My. Yeah. And so this guy is not making any regular music. His song is called Babylon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. By the rivers dark. Yeah, by the rivers dark. I lived my life in Babylon. My holy song I had no stranged in Babylon. Ah, my lawless heart and my wedding ring. I belong at last to Babylon. Yeah, you belong to the golden calf. Or the other song that he's infamous for is Hallelujah. Yeah. And the blessings gone, I forget my Babylon, by the rivers dark in Babylon. Oh yeah, Hallelujah. Leonard Cohen. Hallelujah usually means praise the Lord. Yeah. He says, Hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof. This is about a biblical story here.
Yeah, it is.
Isn't it David and this?
Yeah, right.
This soldier he's sent away to battle that he was getting killed. Can't remember the name at the moment. Yeah, the holy or a broken hallelujah. So it every time it's negative here. Every time it's negative. It's a cold, love is not a victory march. It's a cold and broken hallelujah. Maybe there's a God above. Yeah. Let's say something who is on allegedly from the line of descendants of the high priest of Aaron. Huh? Maybe there's a God above. Yeah. Maybe there's also he's worshipping the golden calf.
Well, read on. But all I've learned from love was how to shoot someone who outdrew you. Mm-hmm. What?
Mm-hmm.
How to shoot someone?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, this is just my short excerpt into Leonard Cohen.
He says maybe there's a God above. Oh yeah.
But the thing that I wanted to absolutely be sure of is that you really see that Berlin has a negative touch. It resembles the seat of Satan. Yeah, first we take Manhattan, then we take Berlin. So Manhattan was 2001. And that song is from 1986 or so, if I remember correctly, that first we take Manhattan. 15 years later, actually, there was a terrorist attack in Manhattan. Wasn't it in Manhattan, the New York Trade Center? The World Trade Center? It was in Manhattan, huh? Not only in New York City, it was in Manhattan.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
I don't know what you're talking about, Michael.
You don't
2016?
know the World Trade Center. They are on the island of Manhattan, aren't they?
Well, yeah, you're talking 2001. You said there later, you said 15 years later. What are you talking about?
The song here, First We Take Manhattan, is from 1986.
Oh, you're talking about 15 years after 86.
87, sorry, but here recorded 86,
okay.
I was right. 86, yes. Yeah, so 15 years later, the terrorist...
all right.
Yeah.
I didn't catch your thinking there.
He said it is a response to terrorism. It is a terrorist song. First we take Manhattan, and 15 years later, in 2001, there was a terrorist attack in Manhattan. How hard can it be? So what are we to expect in Berlin? What happens there when the seat of Satan is there?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, Lower Manhattan. This is German page, but so what? Yeah, this is in Lower Manhattan, the World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan. First we take Manhattan, then we take Berlin. So, dear Berlin inhabitants, be surprised in the near future. Because it is not that Leonard Cohen which is important, it is the seat of Satan.
Mm-hmm. It's the influence.
Yes. Since the reuniting of Germany, 1989, 1990, yeah. So Berlin is now again the capital of entire Germany. Nevertheless, Brett, I hope it was interesting content so that you really see that there are some things happening, but I think that maybe you have a sense of smelling where it all goes down to, because the situation which has been depicted here also on the Gigantomachy, on the satanic altar, has an effect on our day and age, our current day and age. Nothing has changed. The majority of people are still in the Antichrist, in the satanic spirit or serpent worship, dragon worship, whatever you will name it. But they don't accept Jesus Christ as the Savior. So they are all in the Antichrist spirit. Name them Buddhists, name them Muslims, name them, what else? Non-believers, Luciferians, name anything. Yeah, they are in the Antichrist spirit. And therefore they fall flat for the lies of Satan, who wants to enlighten them all so that they can be gods. They can meditate, they can be under hypnosis like that snake is here pretending. And all that stuff. Yeah, all that stuff, they will fall for the lies of Satan. It's all only for your protection, for your security. My, so many people I'm talking to, they don't have absolutely no clue. They just believe almost everything that comes out of the television, except especially when there is a science doctor or professor or who else, educated people. So that was the 4th session of the Giants. I'm so sorry that I did not cover the things which maybe would be of even more importance. But maybe we are slowly progressing into the situation that you really see that there are no coincidences happening outside. So please excuse me. I'm going to have a drink. And I want to ask my beloved brother Brett, which I'm admiring very much because he's so patient and he always almost everybody got time for me to do that sessions. I'm really grateful, Brett, that you are so flexible. Yeah, and that I can have you as my companion and I can call you my friend and brother. Thank you so much, Brett, and signing off.
Oh, you're welcome, Michael. Glad to be here. I think of John chapter 12, verses 36 through, let's say 43. And that reads...
Just wait, please wait for me.
Oh, yeah, sorry. It's John 12:36. Okay. While ye have light, believe in the light, that ye may be the children of light. These things spake Jesus, and departed, and hid himself from them. But though he had done so many miracles before them, yet they believed not on him. That the saying of Isaiah the prophet might be fulfilled, which he spake, Lord, who hath believed our report? And to whom hath the arm of the Lord been revealed? Therefore they could not believe, because that Isaiah said again, He hath blinded their eyes and hardened their heart, that they should not see with their eyes, nor understand with their heart, and be converted, and I should heal them. These things said Isaiah when he saw his glory, and spake of him. Nevertheless, among the chief rulers, many believed on him, but because of the Pharisees, they did not confess him, lest they should be put out of the synagogue. For they loved the praise of men more than the praise of God. And that was John 12:36 through 43. And that pretty much sums it up, Michael. That, it's a difficult road that we are on here. And it's actually a narrow path, isn't it? And there are few that find it. And our prayer is that you find it along with us. And we hope to catch you next time on this channel. And God willing, as long as we're here, we're going to keep going down the narrow path. Hope to see you then. God bless, and Maranatha.